Hello everyone, today I'm potting on some marigolds and tagetes, just little plants like this. Pot these on into these 40 cell module trays, container wise. They've got nice little root set on them, so these will get away fine in here and do really well. But these in total, all these were on the propagator not very long ago, just a few days ago. I took them off there ready to pot on, and then I can move them on down to the polytunnel. Now the seeds you see me sowing in my undercover seed zone for April are now on the propagator, and eventually they will come off and go onto this bench and they'll be potted on and moved on down to the polytunnel, and the next set of seeds will go on this propagator. So it's this continuous cycle that's always going on for me, and this is how I prefer to grow my seedlings on. And I always want to encourage the roots to grow. If you get your roots right at the start, if you're growing your plants, they'll serve you well later, because you're producing such good plants that by the time they get into the final position, into their final soil, they will just do so well and they will thrive really well. And I've got an example of that down at the allotment, which we'll go to in a minute, where I showed you I was potting on in here not so very long ago, about 10 days ago I think it was. I did a potting on video, and I potted on my parsley plants, and it was from a cell tray this sort of size to the next size up. They've grown on to such an extent now that I'm going to plant them out today, because the roots are so much good. And when you see the plants, you'll see how good the actual roots are in comparison to the plants. Now that they are going out into the actual warm soil, those roots will continue to grow, because that's what I've been encouraging them to do, and then the plants can properly photosynthesize and grow from a good, strong, healthy base. And that's what's important really, is to get that bit going well in the first place. Then you'll get yield the rewards later with proper good harvests. So we'll shoot down, I'll carry on doing this, so you can go and shoot down to the allotment and have a look at these parsley plants and a bit more chat about it and what else I'm doing down there. There we go. So we're down in the main polytunnel down at my allotment plot now, and these were the size cells that you saw me pricking out my marigolds and tagetes marigolds into, so they're a 40 cell tray. And when they fill that tray, they then go into this tray, which is a 24 cell module tray, so they're just a little bit bigger. So the idea being, when the plug goes in there, there's just a small surrounding of soil and the roots want to get out into them. And then similarly, when they go up into this size tray, again, there's just a small amount of compost. So you're always encouraging the roots to get out into that new compost, and you're therefore growing your plants on that much better, that much quicker, and that much stronger. So I've already been through this process with another plant that 10 days ago I potted up into the biggest one there, and that's these fellas here. These are my parsley plants, and about 10 days ago I potted these on, and if I just pop one out now, you can see that the roots now are now growing away happily into that. Some of the soil compost has fallen away, but I'm going to plant these now, because these are trying to escape these cells, wanting to grow on, and they'll now get away fantastically well into the warm soil that's out there. And it's all by just taking your time and giving the plants the environment that they need. You're not drowning them, you're not putting too small a plant into too big a module, and you're just allowing them and encouraging them to grow better. And this is the point I'm trying to get across, and why I'm doing this again in this video, is to show you the results of growing your plants on, and by potting on into the right sized pot at the right time, to encourage them to grow and to thrive like these obviously are. These are going to get away fantastically into the soil now and will give me a much better plant and therefore a much better harvest at the end of the day. So we'll go and plant these now. Now these are a giant flat leaf parsley, and they will grow anywhere from 2 foot to 3 foot tall, and they'll fill this space. You can see there's quite a distance. There's a good 15-18 inches between each plant here, and just to get these in, because the roots are coming out already, these will get away nice into this bed here. We use a lot of parsley, and when I harvest it I will chop it up and freeze it, and we'll use it all the way through the winter. I'm not averse to using a couple of handfuls of parsley in a dish, or go with potatoes or whatever, but I'll plant these up. These are going to get away in the ground now into this no dig bed, and they'll be absolutely stunning. Should fill this with parsley, this whole bed near enough. So this bed is now full. There's about 30 parsley plants in here, and because I've trained the roots, got the roots growing and done everything I can to encourage that, they will get out into the soil nice and quick. They'll start their life with a good rootstock and carry on, and then they can continue now and concentrate on growing foliage, which is what I want from these plants. Just taking the time and encouraging the plants will give me a fantastic harvest this season. Now these plants here, there's 6 different types of brassicas. There's cauliflowers, chard, cabbages, there's all kinds of stuff in here. I grew these in rows in here at a time of the year. I planted them, sowed them at a time of the year when my propagator space at home was full, so I couldn't use my propagator. And you can use them to grow these, but these don't need them. They only need a temperature of just above 5 degrees. So at that time of the year when it's too cold really, you think, to get seeds going, you can sow seeds in soil as long as you've got some reasonable protection, like here in this polytunnel. And I also grew some leeks here and some spring onions as a bit of a trial. What I'm going to do with these now is I'm going to start pricking some of these out of this soil and put them into modules themselves. Because I know somebody else wants some, so I'll grow them on in modules for them and pass them on. I will have some that's growing on in modules, and I can then do the same thing as I've done with the parsley, encourage the roots to grow to give me good plants before I plant them out, and the rest can carry on in the soil, giving me another option for later on if I need them. If the ones in the module die, if we get a sudden heat wave and it gets to 40 degrees here in the afternoon or something, you never know, these things can happen. But it just uses a space where I can't use a space otherwise, i.e. my propagator space, and it also saves money as well. I don't have to use heat to get these plants going. Nothing wrong if you want to grow them in propagators, you can do, and you'll have good success. But these are growing in the soil that they're initially going to be matched with when I plant them outside eventually. They're looking a bit floppy now because I've just watered them before, knocked them down. But once they're in modules, they'll get away fine. I can give the plants away to the lady that's asked me for them, and we can go from there. There we go. So even more plants from literally nothing. So there we go, using a bit of knowledge and a bit of past experience in my own growing life, I'm able to produce good, decent plants that I know that when they go out in the soil, they're going to thrive. But that's it for today, and that's it for this video. Please look after yourselves, everyone. Stay safe. I'll see you all very, very soon.